Good morning. Welcome to episode number 138 of Genius Take the Wheel. Obviously, I'm Dr. Evil Genius, and I am very tired. Uh, wow. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear it in my breathing, but not gonna be easy for me to sound like a professional in the blogosphere. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have any special title for you guys. I just have a really long day, and I do have a couple of things that are weighing on me a little bit, and I just kind of want to, I don't know, just want to talk to the people. Today, uh, as will be most Tuesdays going forward, uh, all going to be very important days because I'll be moving up in leg press volume on Tuesdays. So today I went up a rep per set at 455, 4 sets of 8, and it went a lot better than I was expecting. Mainly because I had a session at 5 a.m. and that means I had to set my alarm for 4:20 a.m., which means I had to try to go to bed early. And because I took my pre-workout at 2:14 p.m., my body was not ready to go to sleep at the time I wanted to go to sleep, which was really around 9:30. But I did not actually get to sleep or to try to sleep until 11:30. And let's just say the quality of sleep was really, really bad. I felt like I was awake the whole time. Um, so the quality of sleep that I got was very poor. I got up without hitting the snooze button, which is atypical. Um, I got up, started to get ready. I did something that I have not been doing, but I might start doing as a matter of protocol, which is I took 2 scoops of protein and I mixed it up before I went to bed, and then I drank it. When I woke up, took my pre-workout with me since I had to go do a session before getting into the car to go to the gym for myself. And then, like, when I was ending the session with the client, I took the pre-workout then. So these days I've been going completely empty stomach, which is usually not advisable, especially if you're going to do a lot of heavy work. And me, I do heavy work plus heavy volume. So I got to the gym a little bit earlier than usual. Warm up went a little bit weird because I felt something funny in my left knee again. And I don't like that too much, obviously. But when I got to the working sets, I had no problems, which is very weird. To get to the working sets and not have any discomfort, no, twinge, no tweaks, no jolts. And, I basically, got through the first two sets, then the next two. The next two puts me at halfway, and then I just push, stretch, push, stretch, push until I get to 8, and then I get to rest. And I cherish those rest periods, let me tell you. I really do. Uh, the time in between the work is my favorite, but I earn it. I earn that rest period every time. I think I did a very good job of getting through the work and getting through it quickly, efficiently, not just quickly rushing it, but quickly, efficiently, time efficient. But also in that fatigue, I went to go try doing the seated leg curl instead of the prone, the laying down version of it. It's not always fun getting into position for the prone leg curl. So I tried the seated today, and it was a little awkward, but not too bad. It wasn't too bad. So I think I'm gonna continue to give that a go. I did 4 sets of 11 there. And then on the hack squat, which actually went a little bit better than I expected, um, I added an extra rep there. So I did 4 sets of 11 at 225. And that's a victory for me. The first set felt better than most of the first sets I've been doing. So I'm very happy with that. I'm very grateful that my body is starting to react favorably toward the work. I'm very, very grateful. Um, and so I didn't really feel as bad today. So I'm going to stay here at 11 reps for a little while. Then I'm going to go to 12. What I have not decided is if I will go to 245 or 275 on the hack after I reach the 12 rep by 4 set maximum. So I'm happy with myself on that. I did the leg extension at a quicker interval than normal. Cut down the rest periods there. That wasn't so bad. I'm happy with that. So, but man, my legs hurt. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, my legs hurt. And oh man, my legs hurt. But I earned it, and I'm proud of what I did today. And later on, I got another epic chest day. Yesterday, I had a pretty good back day. I added a little bit of volume to my bicep work. Got a nice pump. Biceps feel okay. So by adding that extra volume work, I'm hoping that the core, the core bicep work becomes a little bit easier since I added some extra stress to the bicep. And I'm hoping to improve my mechanics and use less body English. These are all the things that I'd like to accomplish soon. But yeah, there's a couple of things on my mind. I spoke to Captain Paul yesterday, and he let me know just how rough a time he's been having. And it's much rougher than even I thought it was or could be. You know, there were things that I thought were improving in his life, and then I find out that it's not that, and it's very disheartening because, um, you know, I really try to be there for him because he's been through a lot in his life. You know, people could say, "Oh, but he's got both of his parents and grew up in a two-parent household, and he's white and he's a ginger and all of that," and you'd be well within your rights to say all of those things, but um, you know, Cap has been through a lot, man, and you know, when you hear Captain Paul on TSP, you know, you hear um, him on the locker room. You know, you would think that this guy's got the whole everything figured out. Life is exactly perfect. You know, you think that he has a bunch of privilege, and you know, you would not know looking at him all the things that he has survived, and you wouldn't know the things that he continues to go through. And I'm amazed to know someone as gritty as him, and as gritty and hard nosed and swashbuckling as he is. I do feel like it really does help me to be, you know, just a little bit more cognizant of what other people are going through in life. Um, because even the guys you think are super duper tough and, you know, those guys could be going through stuff. You know, like you see some of these guys on social media who are flaunting Lamborghinis and wealth and girls. You don't know if what they really could be struggling with because, you know, letting you guys in either makes them vulnerable or it doesn't help their brand, you know? And, you know, with Cap is the type of guy that will learn how to do stuff he doesn't necessarily want to learn how to do so that he can achieve some stuff and, you know, be good to his fiance and be good to his family. And a lot of people, you know, I think a lot of people look at content creators and they don't really see content creators necessarily as human beings, but as conduits to information, entertainment, and infotainment. And you know, I've seen a lot of the things that Captain Paul really does try to do. And then I see that he's trying to take care of his lady. You know, he had the whole broken hip thing, he had a fractured pelvis and torn labrum and dealing with an unsupportive employer and, you know, dealing with the union and, you know, trying to rehab and trying to get back to work. He has tried to work at places that require super, super duper hard work, and not pay a whole lot just so that he can take care of his family. I really do admire Captain Paul. You know, like I tell him sometimes, you know, but you know, you don't want to blow smoke up people's ass like that. But man, like I really work hard to try to improve my um, my integrity and improve my work ethic. But man, Captain Paul is like the prototype when it comes to what kind of hardworking man you should aspire to be. And it's upsetting to me that the people, and again, I've been suffering with this worldview for a very, very long time, where I just think that there's just too many people who work super hard and try their best and take care of people, and they get the short end of the stick on a regular basis. And a lot of people don't know that Captain Paul survived an older person's cancer at a relatively young age, late teens, early 20s, and survived it. He's still here over a decade later after pancreatic cancer. He works hard on the water. He's always looking to support the people that he works with on the boat. He tries to do right by his lady. He gets injured. He continues to try to do right by his lady. Then his mom gets cancer. And I know it's not a good way to think, but it's like you rarely hear of bad people suffering like this. And again, I know it's not the right way to think, but it's very frustrating to me to see the good people of the world constantly get fucked, like Captain Paul continues to get fucked, and it is completely unfair. And I think that a lot of the people in his life, and this is why I try not to put a whole lot on him. I want to create content with him. I want to make videos. I want to do this. I want to do that. But I really do try not to put a lot on Cap, because it seems like everybody just looks at how strong he appears on the exterior, and they just keep dumping shit on his plate. Like, he can handle it. You know, let I know that the crap that I feel like I need to dump on people is a lot. And I'm not going to try to dump it on some people. I'm going to dump it on Captain Paul, because I think he can handle it. And it's like, how much can you dump on somebody before they're no longer able to handle it? You know? And I want to be very careful about what I say, because I don't want to put his personal business out there. But it is a little frustrating to me to see, the people who are working the hardest, people just expect more and more and more out of them. And it reminds me of when I used to work at the shipping company, and I was told by the people that I thought were lazy and stealing a paycheck. They were always telling me, "Oh, don't work too hard, don't sort the packages too much too fast, because if you work too fast, then they're going to expect more out of you." And I'm seeing this happen to Captain Paul. And it is a little frustrating to watch. The more that he does for people, the more people seem to want to put on his plate. And oh, this cop wants to make me late for work. That's cool. It is a source of frustration for me, only because of um, how hard I know that he works. Thanks, guy. Thanks, guy. Thanks. Uh, so yeah, it also brings me back to the definition of love for a lot of people. For a lot of people, their definition of love is a person it is liking when a person serves a a quantifiable or non-quantifiable purpose for me. So I love you means I love the purposes you serve in my life. And I'm always kind of like G checking myself to make sure that I don't treat any of the people I care about like that. So, Cap doesn't really like to lean on people when he's going through it. But I always try to be there. Him and Louis Rossman, those are two guys that have these insane work ethics, and they are very selfless people. They don't suffer fools kindly, but they are selfless people, and uh, they work really hard, and they are giving people. And I just try not to take too much from them or really anybody else. I try to be as unintrusive in the people's lives as possible and try to bring as much value in the people's lives as possible. My damaged self. But I really wanted to kind of talk about Captain Paul a little bit and, really give him his flowers because um, we all like to joke about Captain Paul. We all like to ha ha and he and all of that other stuff. But the dude is really going through a very rough time in his life. And I just kind of really hope that people, um, just kind of give him some grace. Give him some grace. Give him his flowers. The guy works really, really hard to try to be as valuable to as many people as he possibly can, and people like him should be appreciated and not taken advantage of, even by the people who believe that they have a right. They believe they have a right to his physical or emotional labor. I think that we all could be a little bit more cognizant of how our presence and our expectations of others uh, could possibly impede on their life. And so, we really do try on TSP to bring content. It's not always easy because we have so many other things going on in our lives that are really difficult. And uh, I think that's really important to remember that you might see a content creator in a certain context, as in when I'm on this channel, you normally see me in the car and I'm talking about fitness and I'm trying to motivate. But as I'm trying value, please also understand that I'm a human being and I struggle a lot. I make a lot of mistakes. I hold unpopular views um, that I'm not, you know, issues, family issues, you know. Gottfried Wegemüller, good stance. Treat yourself like you treat your best friend. I learned that just lately. Yeah, I think that a lot of us, I think that the people who do the most for other people I think they tend to kind of lead with guilt. So they're always trying to do the best that they can for other people based on guilt. And I don't really know if that's very healthy mentally for really anybody. Um, I don't think that is really healthy. But for me, I would much rather do something that's not so advantageous for myself as long as it doesn't disadvantage somebody else. Like I'm more, like I can take an L in life. I could take a few L's. I don't really want to give out L's to other people. Um, like I really want to, make sure that like I'm just as I just want to be again. I said it earlier. I want to be as unintrusive as possible in life. I don't want to impede on other people. This cost me a light. Um, um, yeah. So shout out to Captain Paul. Again, I know, we have like a bunch of different jokes about Captain Paul, and they're all funny. But I just kind of do want to remind people that, there's a lot more going on than just, jokes about Canada not winning any Stanley Cups. Would you say that, Joy Walking? There's more to Captain Paul than just joking about how much the Maple Leafs suck. Um, but yeah, Captain Paul's been going through it, and I wish the best for him, and I try to do the best I can for him. So that's, probably the big thing that's on my mind right now. Um, there was a couple other things I thought were very interesting. A lot of gender-based tomfoolery going on at the Olympics, but even more interesting than that, I found that there is a professional basketball player, in the United States, a female professional basketball player who just brought a very, very interesting lawsuit to bear. And anytime I see something along these lines, I cannot help but smirk. Okay. An example of this is when you hear about the DV and the divorce statistics when it comes to lesbianas. And ever since I was a teenager, and really the turning point was, I think it was Madonna and Britney Spears at some award show in like 2000, 2001, some shit like that, where they got up on stage at an award show and they locked tongues in a kiss. And the very next day, all the girls in school were in the lunchroom at lunchtime kissing each other. I never forgot that because of uh, many women's penchant for falling prey to trends, whatever the trendy thing is. They want to be right up in it. And all I've heard from that point in my life is how Boys are bad, men are horrible, of course. And particularly in heterosexual relationships, like we're really, really just awful people. We don't care. We're inconsiderate. We only care about ourselves, and we don't do enough emotional labor, and yada, 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 yada. We don't listen. We don't do enough girly things we don't give a fuck about. All of that. This is what I've been hearing for more than 20 years. Way more than 20 when I add in the anti-male rhetoric that I grew up hearing from the women in my environment. And so when the divorce rate is like 72% among lesbianas, and the DV rate is above 50%, which is absolutely crazy to me. That's crazy. After listening to all these years, hearing about how violent and how we are unfaithful and we don't take care of the women and blah 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 blah, and then you hear why these women are divorcing each other, and it's the same complaints. That is wild to me. There is no way in the world you could talk about how you're going to go over to the other sex because they're so much better. And then not only are you complaining about the same things, the women you're getting involved in are complaining about those same things that you complain about. They're complaining about you in the same ways. You can't make it up. So why am I bringing this up? Well, apparently there is I don't know if her last name is Darcy or Marcy or something like that, but a female professional basketball player who is suing the WNBA for discrimination based upon the fact that she got pregnant. Oh my God. OMG. Oh my God. You can't make this up. Everything that we've ever heard about, how men are treated in athletics versus how women are treated and how women aren't making the same amount of money because nobody wants to watch them play. Still true today. Nobody cares. Like they had like a window where people pretended to care so that they could, get on the right side of history, but they're not entertaining and they probably never will be. Or if they ever do become entertaining, it probably will be several years down the line when, the talent actually goes above whatever that white chick's talent level is. Um, um, Whatever her name is. I forget her. Caitlin Clark. When the talent level goes above Caitlin Clark, I think that you'll see a much more entertaining American basketball product out of the women. But Caitlin Clark is probably going to be kind of obviously not the skill level of Michael Jordan, not the athleticism, but signaling a change in the skill level that women will be expected to play with after she's done playing, right? But as it stands, her skill level isn't even good enough to really keep people's attention long term. Obviously, again, the people who fall victim to trends will, I always cared about women's basketball. Ha, ha, ha. No, I'm not buying it. And anybody who knows not to buy a bridge or beachfront property in Oklahoma is not buying it either. Okay. So, you got this woman alleging discrimination based upon sex in a women's league. That's crazy. Can you please vacate? Please. Like, good God, man. Maybe they're not from New York or something, but here you gotta, people got places to be. I just, when I look at the complaint by the female WNBA player that she has filed in federal court, basically alleging gender-based discrimination, blows my mind. I just, I cannot help but think about Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. I just, and that's the part of me that's not empathetic. I'm not very empathetic towards WNBA players. I'm not. I'm not. For a variety of reasons that they brought upon themselves. However, the empathetic part of me is reminded of this one time. I want to say it was 10 or 15 years ago. There was a player, if I'm not mistaken, he played for the New York Mets back when the Mets were really going towards they were in playoff contention. And one of the players, it might have been Paulo Duke. Why does his name come to mind? Anyway, it was one player that was on the Mets when the Mets were like really trying to make a push, and um, he basically said, "Hey, I can't play because I need to be by my wife's side for the birth of my first child." And he was very adamant about that, and he went off to go be there for the birth of his child. And the current and former New York Mets players all got on him and were saying all kinds of derogatory things about him because he had the nerve to abandon his team when they were trying to win games for something as frivolous as being there for your child, your firstborn child, and being there with the mother so she's not alone. Oh, he's a horrible teammate because he had the nerve to go and be there for his wife and child. This is where the woman filing the lawsuit, I have a lot of empathy and sympathy for her because I just think that it is really disgusting how years after that, and the MLB instituted a paternity policy where a paternity leave policy where players could get the time off that they needed to be with their wives when their wives were having babies, because um, in my opinion, being there for the birth of your child is way more important than two out, nobody on in the third inning, and you're the number 9 hitter. Like, there will be more games. There are 162 games in a season. It's really not that serious. So, I look at the complaint that this woman had, being that um, she wanted to do like all human beings want to do, which is procreate. Even the ones telling you that they don't want to procreate, I can tell you they're bullshitting. They're bullshitting. They're lying to you. Let's see if I can fit in here. I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try. Um, yeah, even the people talking about I don't want to have kids, blah 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 blah. They want to have kids. It's just for whatever reason their life situation isn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to fit in here. But can I fit in here? Let's see if it's possible. I'm just trying to park, y'all. Can I squeeze in here? Actually, yes. And I will. I'll get to you in a second. Gottfried. Ah, this should be good enough. Plenty good enough. Okay. Gottfried says, so Caitlin Clark is very good for the sport, just like Devin Lorrat, setting new standards and giving mass appeal to the sport. I don't know who that is. I don't know who Devin Lorrat is. But I think that Caitlin Clark is good for the sport long term because she is bringing a higher level of skill. But with that will be a new standard of skill that the girls who are coming up and looking and wanting to be like the next generation of professional basketball players, they're going to have to meet and exceed this level if they are going to if they're going to make it. And then you're going to see, because the NBA, the men's game, the skill level wasn't really that high compared to today in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, 90s, not even. 2000s is when the skill levels really started to pick up. But why? Because Michael Jordan really raised the bar as far as overall skill level, and um, kind of forced, basically all the kids that looked up to that era, they wanted to be like Michael Jordan. So they practice and they practice and they practice to be like MJ, to be like Vince Carter after him, and Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant. And I think that now we have the level of skill now, which is just unmatched. So I don't know. I hope that that woman wins her lawsuit, because to face gender-based discrimination as a woman in a women's only league is that's ugly irony to me, and I don't like it very much. Maybe I might talk about it on TSP. Maybe I might not. I don't know, but it was on my mind. I wanted to talk to you guys about it. Now I got to head off to work with my legs hurting real bad. Much love to you guys. Thank you, Gottfried, for commenting and hitting the like button. I do appreciate you, sir. I will see you on today's Tuesday, so it'll be Thursday, and on TSP one of these days and all that good stuff. I see my client, so I got to get out of here. And as always, if you believe yourself to be a strong person, you are absolutely correct. Catch you later, y'all. Peace.